This is Ganesh and video number 12 on object-oriented ABAP. In this video, I'm going to explain three different concepts. It's actually a continuation of the previous video. I have left over a few concepts and events. I'm going to cover it in this video. Okay. So let's get into the slides first, and I'm going to explain these three concepts. The first one is visibility section of an event. Every event has its own visibility. You can define whether the event to be a public or protected or private. If it is all the three visibility, what are the restrictions you have? Okay. Next is instance and static events. Here also you have an option to define your event, could be an instance or static. If it is an instant or a static event, what could be the restriction for your event handler method? So I believe you are able to, you already have seen my previous video on event, so I don't want to explain what is event handler and all. In a one line, event handler method is nothing but once the event is raised, the consecutive method to be executed. So that method is nothing but event handler method. Okay. So what are the do's and don'ts on those event handler method for an instance event or a static event? And unregister the event is nothing but is a best practice, like unnecessarily that is going to be hold the memory. Normally if it is one or two register, like register is nothing but again is a set handler. There is a statement called set handler to register your event handler method. Then only once your event is raised, your event handler method will trigger. Otherwise it won't. So you have to register it. So unnecessarily sometimes the scope is done of your event. You can unregister your event. Unnecessary memories or occupied memories are going to be released. Okay. This is a kind of a best practice. Normally we do for an internal table. We use free internal table. So the internal table is no longer valid, no longer going to be used in the program. We can use a free concept because it will give some more space to run your program. So the same concept over here as well. Okay. Unregister your event. So these are the three things we are going to see. The first is visibility section. We are going to say about the events. So here in events, you are able to create three different visibilities. You are able to assign three different visibilities to an event. It could be a public event or protected event or private event. So visibility section, public, protected, private, you have an idea what is public. It can be accessed outside of the class. Protected and private, you cannot be accessed outside of the class. At least the protected can be accessed in the subclass. So it's clear, it's common for event as well. So that is a very basic property of your visibility. So if you create any event in the public, I mean the previous video I have created a public event only, and the event handler method, the changes is coming in the event handler method. This is nothing but to raise an event. It could be an instant or static, whatever it is, no change in that, depends on the visibility. You can use any method to raise an event, but the event handler method has some restrictions. If it is a public, it can be a public event handler method, and if it is a public, you don't have any restriction, so you can do a set handler. So this is the registration. Event registration is nothing but set handler. The set handler statement can be done outside of your class with the help of an object because it's a public event handler method. I'm talking of the registration is depends on your event handler visibility. And if your event is protected, then event handler for the protected event should be protected method. Okay, the visibility of that event handler method should be protected. Otherwise, you'll get a syntax error. I will show you. And the event registration is inside the class because protected method, normally it's a protected method, it cannot be accessed outside of your class using an object. So you have to register your protected event handler method using a class name inside your class. Okay, and the private is also same like protected. So if you have a private event, then your event handler method for that private event should be private, and that is also the set handler for that private event handler method should be inside of your class. So the registration for the private event handler method should be inside of your class only. Clear? So this is about event visibility and its event handler method visibility. Okay. So the next one is visibility section after interface. So after inheritance. So once you inherit the method or the class, or not the method, the class, what happens is your public and protected event to be carried to your subclass. Okay, the same like, so visibility is the ground rule is same for a variable, for a method, even for an event also. Okay, so public and protected can be carry forward to the subclass, not the product, not the private one. Okay, and public can be accessed outside of the class, even protected not able to access outside of your class. So this is just a reference for you. Once you create a subclass for a superclass which has a different visibility events, then only public and protected can carry forward to your subclass method. Okay, and then instance and static events. It's very simple. Event type is a static or an instance. Method to raise an event, there is no change. You can use an instant or static. Event handler method type also can be anything, meaning your static or instance event can be called or can be used. Okay, I'm talking about event handler. It can be instance or static event handler method. Okay, I have an event instance or a static event. So my event handler method can be an instant event handler or can be a static. Okay, same thing for instance also. If it is an instance event type, that can be the event handler for the instanced event type can be an instance or a static. But you have some restrictions. It's not like static event should be event handler for a static event to be a static method. It's not necessary. Okay, so the restriction is, if the event handler method is has a static event, then the for is not allowed. If you remember the syntax, set handler object name arrow, set handler event method. Sorry, I'll just come again. Set handler object, and then you're going to give your event handler method for all instance or for a particular object. Okay, so if suppose event handler method, it can be anything, static or instant event handler method is pointing to a static event, then you are not able to use the for option, because for is especially for the object, not for the class. Okay, that is the only restriction. Other than that, you just play around it. So whatever I explained about the visibility and what about the instant and static events, it's I personally just work around, and I found these are the ways we are able to do it. Okay, so you also just do play around with that, and you just come to know, okay, this is possible, this is not possible. So that will be very easy and very easy to understand. Okay, just play around with the events without any logic, just an event with one right statement, then see how it behaves. Okay, even if it is for visibility as well, or the instant and static concept also. And then unregister. So the unregister statement would be like this: set handler and register your event handler method for an object or all instance. So this is or, actually it's like this, either an object or all instance. Okay, all instance activation X. So meaning activation is a word. You're going to give an additional information to the system. I'm going to activate my set handler method. By default, if you're not, because the previous examples I didn't use activation, by default it keep your handler active. Okay, it register by default, it register your event handler method. And if you want to unregister, you have to use activation, either a single quote space or use a word space. Okay, I will show you what happens if I use set handler activation space, then I raise an event. Okay, I will show you, then you just come to know. It's very simple. It just remove the memory space of your handler. That's it. Okay, nothing big. So hope you are aware of now about the visibility, as well as what's the next concept we have seen, static and instance, and then finally unregister your handler. Okay, let's see one by one in the system. So this is my system. Let me create a class, events, and events class. Let me take out this final, because I'm going to inherit the concept to my subclass. Okay, first is visibility. Let's go to events. Let's go one by one. public event. So type as instance. I'm not going to combine both in one, so let's go one by one. And then protected event instance, protected, and finally private event. Okay, so I have created three different events and the visibility also different. It's public, protected, and private. Then go to methods. I'm going to create a basic method to raise an event. Okay, so this is can be anything like instance or static, and I'm going to keep as public because I'm going to call this from my program. Okay, and the statement is very simple. I mean the code inside the method is raise event. So raise, if you want to all the three in one, so you can use chain operator, private event, and protected event, comma, or you can go line by line, raise event, raise event. So I raised all the three events, private, protected, and public. Okay, done. Next, I need an event handler method. Okay, for some reasons I have noticed in my examples, if I create a method, even especially event handler method, and assign an event without activation, you will get sometimes you will get a different error. Cannot able to save this method. So my personal opinion is create a basic normal method, activate it, then change the properties of the method. So change the property in the sense, change the normal method as an event handler method. Okay. So first I'm going to create event handler method for public event instance, public event handler method for protected instance, protected event handler for private, private. That's it. So this is currently these are just normal method. It's not an event handler method. Okay, activate it. Okay, now go one by one and change the properties and activate it. Okay, so this is what I figured out. Maybe it might be work differently for you as well. So go to the properties. These steps are you already aware because of the previous video, and give the name of your class. The same class I have the event, and here I'm going to use public event. Okay, next. So here it's converted into event handler. Got it? Let me activate it. Then event for protected, event handler method for protected event. So this is same class, and I'm going to select protected event. Next. Okay, you're able to find the event handler here. I didn't activate. Let's go to the next one. Go to private event handler for private event. Excuse me. Next, and activate it. Okay, so now I have one method to raise all the three events, and three event handler method depends on the visibility of the event. I have created three different method, and the visibility also same like event visibility. Okay, what will happen if I change the event visibility and the event handler method visibility? I will show you that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a method called public method, okay, for event handler, and I'm going to map protected events, protected event to this event handler method. So here I created a public method, just a public method, and go to properties, and I'm going to map protected event. So same class, and event is going to be protected event. So this is a protected event. The visibility of the event is protected and the visibility of the method is public. So there is a contradict. So if you click next, it will give an error in change of method name. It won't give what is the error. Okay, so the error is visibility of your event and your event handler method should be same, otherwise you'll get this error. Okay, just click next. Even help also one work on this. So you have to close or you have to change this, no other option for you. Got it? So visibility of your event as well as event handler method should be same. Let me activate. Once you activate, automatically that error out method will go. Okay, this is about visibility. Now, what do we need? Okay, we need some write statement, very basic write statement, because we need to understand the logic or concept or design first. So write. So this is public event handler method. Okay, and this is protected event handler method, and finally private, come on, private event handler method. Done. Final step is, okay, I didn't activate all three. Okay, one second. Final step is I need to register set handler for all the three event handler method. The first one is very simple. I want to register the public. Yeah, we can do it because the public outside of your class, you can do it. Let's do the public first, then come to protected and private. Go to a program, CJ events. Do I have a program like this? I don't think so. Okay, good. Events, executable program. Save it. Let's create an object for the class ZJI events. It's not your class name and program names are same, so I just give the same name. Okay, it's not, there is no relevancy between these two. That's the name. And I'm going to do a set handler for my public event handler method. Set handler object, control space bar. It will show only one set handler method, event handler method, because other two are protected and private. That is the reason it won't show in your SE38. Okay, so I'm registering for all instance or for particular whatever it is. Now I'm going to call the method which rise, like which call or which rise an event, is nothing but rise events. So now I'm going to rise all the three events, but only one event handler method will trigger because the registration for protected and private is missing as of now. Execute. So you will get public event handler method is triggered and it display the information. Now I'm not able to register my protected and private over here because the visibility is not public. So the solution, how to achieve that, because I need to register my protected and private, do it inside your class. Very simple. So whatever we did here using an object, do the same within the class. So that is the only restriction, right? If the visibility is private or protected, you should not, you can't, you're not able to use it outside of your class. So I'm going to register same inside of my class. So go to the class. And I have a normal method. If you want, you can create a new method for this line if you want, and you have to call using an object, or depends on the level. If it is an instance, you need an object. If it is not if it is a static, then you just go with the class name. Now I have the instance, all the instance method only, so I go with an object option over here. So one prerequisite is before raising an event, better register your event handler method. Okay, so now data object equal to, so new. So here I'm creating an object within the class. Okay, the reason behind is all the event handler method are instance in level. So if you see, all the event handler method, especially private and protected, are instance method. If it is a static, you don't want an object, using a class name you can do it. Okay, so currently it is an instance. Okay, I will just change and let you know. I'll show you that as well. So now if it is an instant method, I need an object. So I'm going to register my protected method first. Protected event handler method. So here it comes. Outside of the class, you didn't see all this private, protected, only public we have seen. But here it's all the three comes because it's inside the class for all instance or for one instance. It depends. That's it. I didn't do private now. Toward it. Now go to the program and execute. So all the three events are triggered, but only two event handler methods got registered, public and protected. Execute here, no change. So here you can see protected event handler method also triggered and public event handler method also triggered. Okay, so if it is a protected, the registration should happen inside the class. Now I'll just go and change the level of my private event handler. Okay, let's change to static. Okay, then activate, objects activated. So if it is static, you don't want an object to register. So what I'm going to do is set handler class name it shows only event private because only one method is static. So it shows event only, event handler, private event handler method. Then for all instance. Okay. Some might have a question on this. Please keep your question. I will answer for that. Activate. So here my events are raised here and all the event handler method are registered as well. Okay. So public event handler outside of the class, protected and private inside of the class. Now go to program and execute it. Now there's no change in the program, just execute it. All the three event handler methods also triggered. So private event handler, private event raised first, protected next, and the last public. Okay, so all the three different visibility events and event handler method also triggered. So this is a way to handle the different type of visibility events and its event handler method. Okay, so hope you have at least some clear idea about the visibility about the events. Okay, now if I create a class, and this is very simple, like inheritance. So I'm going to create a class and inherit, and to created class events 2 next, and go to the properties and give the superclass name as CGI events. Okay, active it. So now what will happen? It retrieved or derived only the public and protected events from your superclass. Only public and protected, not the private. Okay, so the same way how your attributes and methods working the inheritance concept, events also follow the same steps or same rules. Clear? So the next one is different level of events, instance and static. Before that, maybe just give a pause, forget about whatever I have explained so far in this video. I need you a little fresh mind to explain one of the concept here. Okay, by basic, if there is any static method, okay, so here actually I'm calling the static event handler method. That's very important. Event handler method, then for is not applicable. So this is the basic rule. Okay, but here the same thing I did, right? Event handler method, I registered it, but I used for. That basic rule has got overwritten or update if the event handler method is mapped with instance event, then for is mandatory. Got it? So this is anyway event handler method, but the level is static, but this event handler is mapped with the event. That event is nothing but an instance event. It's not a static event. That is the reason you need the for. Okay, so this is one small concept. Keep it in your mind. The next scenario, like instance and static method, I will explain the same thing with an example. Got it? Okay. I will show you that also. Let's go back, and this is a static method, but the event, I'm sorry, go to the properties. If you see, the event is what is the private event, right? So you are not able to see here. Go to the events tab, private event. This type is instance event, so that is the reason you need a for. Okay, now fresh concept. Instance and static event. Okay, let me have a new program. So new class is easy to understand. Events 3 class events 3 next local object. Okay, so here I'm going to have instance event and type as instance, visibility as public. Okay, and static event, type is static, and this is also public. Now I'm going to have one method to raise the event and 4 different methods to just play around with instance and static event. Okay, go to methods. So one method to raise an event. This is okay. This is a normal event, more normal method only. So don't worry about the level. I'm going to have instance only. Public. Now, instance method. Okay. With instance event. Okay. This is the event handler method. Instance and public. Another one, instance method with static event. Okay, I'm sorry, instance public. Another one, static method instance event. Okay, so these are event handler methods. I need to convert it. Currently I'm just creating a normal. I need to convert it. Static method with static events. Activate it. Done. Now change the property. So this is instance method, instance event. So go to the property event handler. This is events 3 and take the instance method. So instance event. Got it. Next. Success. Save it. Now instance method static event. Event handler 3 F4 static. Done. Next, static method event handler event is instance. Done. Then finally static method static event. Okay, activated. Activated successfully. So there is no restriction to keep static is only in static, event is only in static method, or instant is only in static instant method. It's not like that. Okay, so this is just for your reference. Okay, now I'm going to have a normal write statement that needs to be done. So here this is instance, right? So write what I write in, so this is the event handler method, instance method with instance event. So event handler for, okay, I can do that one, event handler for instance events at instance method. Go back, and here event handler for static event at instance method. Okay, and go to this. This is an event handler for instance event at static method. Finally, event handler for static event at static method. Okay, that's it. Activated. Okay, I need to raise an event. That is very important. So here, raise event. Okay, I need a chain operator. Okay, let's see. Static event first, and then I need a. Okay, I'll go with instant first. Okay, instant event first. It doesn't make any difference. Static event. That's it. Final step is register your events. Recollect whatever I have mentioned little early. So go to the program. Data object, so new ZGI events tree. Okay, all public, so I can do the registration like set handler outside of the method. Set handler, so first I'm going to write 4 set handlers I need, because I need 4 event handler method, right? So first one is normal instance method with instance event. Set handler instance method with instance event. Okay, so I need for all instance. Okay, or for one also, it's fine. Just try with that, doesn't require for our example now. Next, instance method with static event for all instance. Set handler obj static event instance method for all instance. Finally, set handler static method static event. Now I'll get a syntax error. That's it, and I need to raise an event. Sorry, I need to call the method which writes the event. Okay, so the errors. Method instance method static event was defined as a handler for a static event, so for is not allowed. So this for is not going to determine based on your type of your event handler method. No, it is going to determine the mapping between your event handler method and the event. Okay, so this is instance method. It's an instance method only, but it's mapped with a static event. The event handler, this method is the event handler for static event. So for is not possible. Okay, now another syntax error. This one. This is a static method. But here I mapped with a static event, so the for is not applicable here. So here you can use object or you can use a class name, whatever you can do it. Okay, it doesn't make any difference here. So let me have, for your reference, I have events 3 like this. Okay, so either object, because it's a static, right? So you can go with object or the class. So is it clear? So instant and static can have very instance or static method also. So if so it gives first event handler for instance event at instant method triggered, event handler for instance event at static method also triggered, same thing for static event at instant method, static event at static method. Okay, so hope you'll get a very clear picture about the events, do's and don'ts, properties and everything. Finally, unregistered. Okay, so what I'm going to do is let me do this way. Take a simple example for only one instance, not all. Okay, I'm not going to raise an event here. And let me comment this as well, so that's easy to understand. So first I'm going to register my event handler. By default, yes, it will take. Otherwise, you can do this option also. Activation X. So now, if I raise an event, obviously event handler also will execute because I registered it. Really? Instant method, instant does not. Okay, I think some spelling mistake. Yes. Okay. So now I registered, I raised my event, automatically event handler is executed. Now, instead of activation X, I'm going to say activation space. Meaning, so I'm going to remove the particular registered or whatever it is in memory space. I just removed it and I'm going to raise an event. I'm pressing F8. It's not executed because it's got removed. I'll go with this. That is easy to understand. First, I registered and raise an event. Second, I just unregistered and raise an event. Let's see. So it executed once, not twice. So first time, yes, it's executed. Second time I raised the event, but it's not executed the event handler method because I unregistered my event handler method with the help of space. Okay. Hopefully you'll get some idea about events. Just play around with the events. Don't go with the logic. Try to understand how the events work in different scenarios, visibility, instance and static. And if you have any doubt, please let me know. Yeah, that's it about events. Thank you so much for your time. See you in the next video. Bye.